So last week we had 3 Republican House committee chairmen, including Jim Jordan, who sent a letter to Alvin Bragg saying, Bragg, you come in, you talk to our committee. Oh, and by the way, bring all your evidence to share it, even though the state law in New York actually forbids you from doing it. We don't care. Come bring it all in. And as we all know, Bragg responded late last week and said, no, well, I'm definitely not going to do that. So kindly go away. Well, the Republicans, as you can imagine, didn't take too kindly to being told no from Alvin Bragg. So they sent a letter in response to Bragg's response. And their response now says that they have no choice, due to Bragg's refusal to cooperate, than to consider legislation that would illegally prohibit, by the way, this is totally a violation of the Constitution, but it would prohibit states or local authorities across the country from being able to prosecute a former president of the United States. Let me read the statement so you know I'm not exaggerating. This is the response. This is from Jim Jordan and Brian Steele. First, they said, of course, that Jim Jordan's Judiciary Committee does have jurisdiction because it's an investigation. And so, he kind of gets to oversee investigations. It's judiciary. It's total BS reasoning by a bunch of morons who are too stupid to be in Congress, yet somehow are there anyway. And they continued by saying this, therefore, the Committee on the Judiciary, as part of its broad authority to develop criminal justice legislation, must now consider whether to draft legislation that would, if enacted, insulate current and former presidents from such improper state and local prosecutions. Because your impending indictment of a former president is an issue of first impression, the committees require information from your office to inform our oversight. So what the committee is telling Alvin Bragg is, if you do not cooperate, all right, we're giving you one more chance, give us all of your intelligence, which again, under New York state law, he cannot do, which is what he clearly told them. But if you do not give us everything you've got, we're going to draft legislation that will make your job illegal. And the legislation itself would technically be illegal because it's a violation of the state's rights granted to them in the U.S. Constitution. Regardless of what Jim Jordan says, he does not have any jurisdiction whatsoever over what a local prosecutor who was elected to their position, not appointed by a federal employee. He has no jurisdiction over that at all. That's illegal. Jim Jordan is abusing his power to protect Donald Trump. Republicans are now threatening to violate the U.S. Constitution, to rip it to shreds to protect Donald Trump. They're going to burn this effing country to the ground in order to protect Donald Trump. And I know I said this last week, but my God, folks, let it sink into your brain. This country is literally being ripped apart because of Donald Trump, because we have an entire political party that will burn this country to the ground, that will strip away the rights given to us by the Constitution just to make sure that Donald Trump doesn't get popped with a minor crime. Because again, let's be real, that's all Alvin Bragg can pop him with. It's not like he's going to send him up the river for 20 friggin' years. It's likely going to be community service and a fine. But even that is too much accountability for Donald Trump. And God forbid that man get what he deserved. So Republicans would rather tear this country apart at the seams than to watch Donald Trump have to, face a little bit of justice. Ring of Fire has fresh content 7 days a week. So if you want to be reminded about it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell to be notified every time a new video goes up.